Okay, the time being 6 p.m. on the 6th of October, 2025. I call this meeting at the Capital Planning Committee to order. Let's begin with a roll call vote. Keith Emberg, aye.
Wayne,
Chris,
aye.
Chris Breelman, aye.
David Fuller, aye. Okay, on to announcements. This meeting is being recorded. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. If none, this committee still has a vacancy for a Kingston resident. If you or anyone else you know may be interested, please reach out to Kingston's Finance Committee. You can reach them by email at fincom@kingstonma.gov. That's fincom@kingstonma.gov. Anyone else have any announcements? All right, we'll move on to meeting minutes for April 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Can we move those with the ability to make edits after this meeting? The formatting came out a little wacky, so all right, cool.
Yes, sure.
Okay, all those in favor, Heath, aye.
Wayne, aye.
Dave, aye.
Chris, aye.
All right, very good. That's done. Okay, we have an appointment with Streets, Trees and Parks to present a request to replace equipment. And with us, we have Kathleen Barrett, Sean Turner from the Streets, Trees and Parks Department, and Kathleen from Finance. Just a summary, we looked at replacing this vehicle for the last Springtown meeting. We had to hold off, and it's looking like maybe it's not going to last. So, John, over to you.
Yeah, so basically we tried for it in the spring, and because of the budgets and with everything going on, we needed lifts as well, and the vehicle lifts were a little bit more important because at the time, we got to get the vehicles fixed, so. Keith had a discussion and asked to put this off until FY27. And I was crossing my fingers and hoping it would get us through the season, but with the amount of repairs and the estimates we have to repair it now, it's putting good money into bad for something that's almost going on 15 years old. So we just basically looking to replace the 14-year-old machine that works for 4 seasons. It sweeps in the spring, cuts and mows in the summer, and it also does all the sidewalks in town.
Just to give everyone a little clarity, the mowing are like the heavy field mowing. So like our strip of Bay Farm, Callista Farm, those kinds of.
Well, those we do in the fall for conservation, but in the spring I have to do the landfill cap. And we have to mow the landfill cap to have it inspected by our engineers for DEP. If we do not mow it, they will not go up and do their thing for DEP. So I have to mow the cap. And then, starting around May or June, once everything leaves out, we're cutting all, 67 miles of roadsides. And cutting along sidewalks and developments. It's just this machine, it's just something that you just can't go out and do with a regular lawnmower or a pair of loppers.
Is the mower head still in a state of failure?
Yes, it is. Yep. I've attached in here, I simply attach some pictures of the different attachments that it has. Just so everybody can see. So we have a new snow blower. So all the attachments we have are compatible with the new machine. So the snow blower attachment's still in good shape. The field mower is still in good shape, and the broom is still in good shape. We have to replace the flail mower though. The problem with the flail mower is just driving down these roads for 14 years and the constant bouncing has just
a boom flail, right?
It's a boom flail.
Extendable arm that holds it. You can hit the side of the street.
Yeah, we'll extend out about 8 feet beyond the edge of the road to cut everything back. But it's taken a beating in the 14 years driving it down the road.
And you showed me when I went there to go look at it, a bracket near the bend.
Yes,
which is sort of supporting it, but.
yeah, I had a few pictures in there. So the retention pins that hold different parts of the arm together are starting to fail. We had one fail already. And that was it was in there somewhere. That was about $1,400 just to replace one of them. And there's about 12 of them on the machine for the retention pins. So if one's gonna go,
All the rest are original?
they're all original. Yes, they're all 14 years. Yep.
Now, there's no substitute because the other sweeper you have is for the road, not the sidewalk. most of what that machine does, it's not like there's not a second machine, not like if you lose a six-wheel dump truck, you've got several others that you
No.
can use and
Would
it
the-
means the job gets done a little slower.
With the amount of roads that are in town, a second machine would be ideal, but we don't have that.
Yeah.
So we're relying on this one to cut the whole town. Also, in the wintertime, this is the only machine that will fit down the sidewalks because it's so narrow. So without that, none of the sidewalks are gonna get done.
Do you do any like the finish work sort of? That's the right term in terms of snow removal and parking lots? Getting into tight spaces?
It can, like over at the senior center, we've.
Yeah,
used
you were
it a
talking about
few
some other
times.
equipment to do that too. but-
We've used it, yeah, I mean, eventually that, maybe a skid steer or a smaller machine, but for right now. That will get in the tight spots and like handicap that the plows can't get into. So yeah, we do quite a bit. I mean, this thing's always moving. Not so much in the winter if it doesn't snow, but in the spring or something, it's out every day working.
And one of the things I thought was interesting, you showed me the joystick replacement. So the operator has a joystick to operate the equipment. And you said the original had failed. They don't make the original anymore. So you have to buy a new one, but it's compatible. But how much did it cost?
It was about $5,000.
Yeah. So is
It was
is that the way a lot of the parts are going
Yes, I
over time? Is
Yeah.
you can find something, but you're gonna pay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like, I included in here, our most recent one was a quote for, let me pull that up. Last page. So the most recent quote was $17,000. The clutch pump on it. So to do the clutch pump, they have to take it up to CM Wood. They actually have to split the machine in half to replace the clutch pump.
Yeah,
So it
so
was $17,000, which.
our mechanic
it's been
works
sitting in
on
the
it.
Corner of the shop.
When he's working on, he can't do the other things that he was assigned to do. One of the things he was working on, he showed me. Do you guys remember? Well, I guess you weren't here, but we were doing the replacing 4 trucks at a time. We sat in this room with Paul Basler and the fire chief was on this, he was attending remotely. And we talked about purchasing these 4 trucks and what can we do to keep salt and snow corrosion from occurring underneath. And he mentioned a product, I think was it wool wax?
Wool wax.
Which the mechanic has been applying to the trucks with using the new lift to get underneath.
Yes, it does.
But when I was there, it was stopped
Right,
because he's working on the machine.
yeah,
And you told me $250 to $300 each way to tow to the shop if we can't handle it in the house.
Mhm.
Um,
yeah,
and
that's.
that doesn't include anything else. The diagnostics are 200 an hour,
Mhm.
you said.
Yep.
And then labor and materials are just added on top of that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it, just alone, just to fix that, so the clutch assembly is $5,800. But the labor alone was $10K just for the labor. And that is not.
Is that a new problem?
That is as of, yes, it is, that was as of September 10th they came.
Because when I was there the day before the first day of school in August,
Mhm.
you weren't able to get over and mow that section of the KIS field that you guys do. You had told me we were 8,000 to 9,000 into this thing. Keith mentioned it to the selectmen at one of their meetings. I think he estimated 10, so I don't know if it'd gone up.
Well, we had since July,
It was like 6 weeks worth of work.
it was like 6 weeks, it was like $10,000. So then we had that new issue. And they came out and diagnosed it and it was, now it's $17,000 additional. So you'd be looking at, almost $28,000 in repairs over the course of 2.5 months on a 14-year-old machine. And the life of these machines, if they're maintained properly, is anywhere from 12 to 15 years
Yeah.
out of one of these machines. So
You're at
it's close.
14.
We're at 14.
So Paul put it in to replace it when it would be 15.
Yes.
You were looking at it as we were getting there and it didn't
Because I
think it
knew
was
some
gonna
of
make it.
these repairs were gonna start coming across.
I actually have a feeling that if we simply had the money, we wouldn't have delayed. We would have placed it at the annual town meeting. I think we were reluctant to go along with Keith, but I think we could see he was reluctant to pull it from the capital plan.
He was very reluctant when he called me. He said, I hate to ask you this. He said, but with everything going on in other asks, he says, do you mind putting it off till FY27? And I went like this. I said, I'll try.
Yeah.
To get the season through it and,
The thing that concerns me about winter is that you said any time of the year, it's hard to find a rental available. And if you even do find it, I think you said, how much per day? 700?
Well, it's about $5,000 a month
a month. And then,
to rent
it-
one of these machines.
and then it's, you can't guarantee that the attachment you need is available. We go into winter, if you can even find a machine, how can you predict when it's actually going to snow? They tell you it's gonna snow and then so the wind changes and it, the.
Well, that's the
snow
thing.
over the ocean instead of on the land, or you're not gonna get snow and you do, and
Yeah, I'm thinking about money. I don't want to go rent a machine for $5,000 a month. It hopes it's gonna snow and then it
well, that's
doesn't.
what some other towns gonna do. They're gonna say, we better get ours for the month of January or this week when we're expecting a blizzard. Then you
Right.
call up and it's already gone in some other town.
Now, if for some odd reason this doesn't go through or it doesn't pass a town meeting, we may have no choice. I may have to hope that they have one and we can rent one, but you gotta rent it monthly,
There's no other alternative to pushing a snow blower down
not the sidewalks. You need a specialty machine
sit in and drive.
because these things are only, it's about 50 inches wide, this machine. And most of our sidewalks are anywhere from 48 to 60, most.
Yeah.
The ones we do anyways.
Does anyone have any questions about the condition of the machine or its uses?
The current machine.
Yes.
Just a question about, what would you say like monthly operating costs are ballpark?
Operating costs. Tell me on that one. That's,
No, but just yearly, it needs oil changes, right?
yeah, there's really
What
not.
else they do to it?
And
It's just keeping up on
and the in-house mechanic is the first line of defense for maintenance. Anytime he works on that, that means he can't do an oil change on a police cruiser. He can't put a fire engine on the lift. He can't apply wool wax to the new trucks.
Yeah.
And if he can't do it, diagnostics comes down here, right, to look at it in shop, $200 an hour.
$200
And then it gets towed to Woburn.
if it needs to go up there, if they can't fix it in our shop.
So
But as
that's
far as like a monthly operating cost, it's
probably not a lot.
it's very
probably-
minimal.
It's probably, it's the maintenance that's nickel and diming us.
Yeah. Well, with
And
this,
leaving us on the machine when we're gonna need it.
this machine now, yes, the operating costs have been a lot more monthly,
Yeah.
keeping it up because it's an older machine, but a newer machine, it will be very, very minimal. And once a year, an oil change, hydraulic fluid
It's one
flush,
thing to replace,
fuel filters.
one thing if it's like 7.5 years old and you do the joystick. The other thing to
Right.
be considering doing that when you're at 14 years old and you're potentially past to do.
Or it might be something 7 or 8 years old where you say, okay, put the clutch pump into it, even though it's 17,000. Cause you can still get another 7 years out of it.
Yeah,
But this is just basically at the end. And I'm hoping to try to find, and I've talked to you about it, is find money to get a trailer for it.
Yeah.
So we can start trailering this around, which will add a lot more life to it, instead of driving it down the road.
all the sidewalks, the plows can be done from this point.
They can be. done
However,
at
if you
this
have to do
point.
brush cutting, like
Parting ways.
Harding Ways,
or-
North Pembroke Street, some
North
neighborhood
Pembroke
out
Street.
there.
Yes, it's
You're-
easier to
It's
trailer.
going slow, it's going on the side of the road.
Well, that's the problem with these machines, that they're a solid fixed suspension. So any little bump, any little pot, anything, you feel it in that machine and it rattles it.
Yeah, so.
But after 14 years of the road is what really, that's what made the wheel studs are starting to snap on it.
I was hoping we could replace it at a time where we could get the trailer too, just to preserve it longer by trailering it rather than, driving it across town.
Well, I have ideas that I'll talk to Kathleen about with a trailer out of my operating budget.
Okay.
That's a minimal cost compared to what the cost of the machine.
How much do you think a trailer is?
Anywhere from 10 to 11,000.
Okay. Is that something that?
For the proper trailer to tow this around with the weight of it. Yes.
But that would tow a skid steer too, if you get
Yes.
one of those down the road.
Yep. And it would also, say we get this new machine, there's some warranty work. Now, instead of paying them $300 to come pick it up, we put it on the trailer and we bring it up there.
We don't have any other trailer in town.
No, we don't. The only other trailer we have, the sewer department has a trailer, but it's too narrow. The trackless will not, with the dual tires on it, will not fit on it.
What do they do? Move their generation pumps?
No,
around?
they move, they have a small skid steer they use up there for unloading,
Okay,
but it's a very narrow skid steer. So they bought that trailer specific, and I guess maybe not planning as much in the future of buying a wider trailer that everybody could use. They bought one just for the skid steer. So the problem is it's got with the fenders. The trailer we would get, an equipment trailer has no fenders on it, so it's just a straight deck trailer. And it's about 84 inches wide, the trailer. But to me, that's something we can work on. That's
Definitely.
minimal compared to what we're talking about for the machine. But I would like to get one because it would save the machine,
Yeah, wear and tear.
wear and tear of driving down the roads.
Hey, Chris, do you think your question about the cost is answered? Is there anything else that we can?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Look
I couldn't
into?
answer that a little bit better.
Yeah,
Look into
it-
it, maybe.
Answer to my satisfaction. I was just trying to get a feel for what the monthly rental cost looks like compared to financing the cost of a new one. You know, just trying to put all those numbers together.
All right.
Any questions
Obviously, a
about
new
claim?
one's a lot cheaper than renting.
Yeah, yes, it is.
All right,
Yeah.
couple due diligence questions
Mhm.
that you can hopefully just whack
Well,
away
can I
at.
just say that if you have a town, like a lot of the small towns around here don't really have a lot of sidewalks, but they have field mowing, right? So wouldn't they just, it makes sense for them once a year to just rent a machine for the month, get it all done,
So,
send it back.
yeah,
But for us, with all the sidewalks we have through the main areas of town, going up Elm Street, and I don't know if you, how many of the subdivisions you do and all that, but
again, not a ton of the subdivisions, just the fact that one machine, so say we start after a storm, just the ones we do all up and down. So we do from Stop and Shop all the way to the Plymouth line. Then we do Route 27 near the schools. And then we do Hilltop in front of the elementary school. And then there's a few, like we do a little bit of Holland's Lane, but that alone takes almost 5 hours after a storm. 4 or 5 hours to complete all those sidewalks.
yeah.
Now, if we start adding developments and stuff, again,
Well,
it would be a lot for one machine.
I'm just
keep
trying to
up
think
with.
about, I don't know how you guarantee there's a machine available in winter, and you start doing things like adding sidewalks to your town, you start adding costs that you don't think about when you say, wouldn't it be nice to have a sidewalk? Now, if you need to clear it in the snow, so kids can walk to school or someone can walk to the store because they don't have a car, and they, bought a house on a sidewalk for a reason, it just complicates things, so.
It does, yeah. Plus with the brush mowing, we try to cover almost every single road in town in the course of a year. So 69 miles of road is.
Hmm.
It's a lot of roadway to cut.
All right,
Plus you have other stuff.
so
Mhm.
just confirm the following. So the new machine is same manufacturer as the old machine.
Yes. Mhm.
And the old machine is an MT6. This is an MT7.
Yes,
That is, it's not a bigger machine. That's just the newest iteration.
it's
Of the
basically,
machine?
yeah, basically what it is. So every 4 or 5 years, they put a different motor in them. They put so this one has a little bit different, but no bigger, same exact spit and image of the machine we have now,
Okay.
just upgraded.
In the quote, what we're actually purchasing is the core body motor where the guy sits and the arm and mower.
Yes, the boom, yeah, the arm.
But we're not getting a brand new sweeper and all the other stuff. We're gonna reuse our old.
We're gonna reuse our old because our snow blower, we actually had to replace 3 years ago. Because the other one was in such bad shape. So we already replaced that 3 years ago.
How much do those cost? Just like a round number on any kind of attachment. Because that must have been on the.
No,
equipment
no, it's-
or something.
It's good to know. I do have the information. I just gotta. So here's the bid. This is for the state contract, state list. So let's see. A brand new snow blower is $19,275.
Yes, we just put that on the equipment article for what,
What's the arm cost?
So the arm basically is.
Is that all one, like arm and
Yeah, it's everything for the cotton. So
what's that?
that was 40,495, but unfortunately, right now, to get this stuff, there's tariffs on it.
Okay,
So we're paying 40%
Yeah.
tariff on it, but for the boom flail itself, just that specialty mower is 40.
now when we were talking the 12 points pins.
Yep.
Is that all on that arm?
Yes, it is. So there's different pins. So the cutting head pivots,
So you got,
so there's pins.
you got the mower,
Yep.
you got the blades. that attaches to this arm, and that arm attaches
To another section of arm, because it comes out in multiple
Yep.
sections
and then that attaches to the machine.
of the machine, so there's all pins in those points, which
Because it moves.
they do have grease fittings.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do have Zerks. Even when this broke, the guy come in and says, "Oh, Jesus, the thing's loaded with grease." Just from years of bouncing down the road and constant mowing and wear and tear, the pins are starting to break. They're worn, they're getting, so they just.
All right, I'm just trying to break down the cost.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I sent an email. We were
So-
gonna need documentation.
So, so really, the 172, for the main body.
Yep.
What we need to fix is costing, is what your quote is. It's really the clutch.
Yeah, it's a clutch pump that runs everything off the front of the machine and the machine itself. That's the quote.
And is there anything wrong with the motor or the rest of the body of the
The
machine?
machine is two sections and it's held
Yeah, I
together
know.
with one pin and that thing is,
Oh, and that pin's
Damaged.
no good either?
Well, the pin in the middle, when they separated it,
Yeah,
they were gonna have to replace that too. Because what's happening.
What's the cost of that?
otherwise it
Any idea?
Articulates,
yeah.
constantly turning, so it's getting, the pin's getting like, and the hole it goes through is getting like
Yeah.
heaved out.
But what I'm
So that
what I'm
thing would-
saying is the main cost to this machine is where the guy rides, the
It's the
motor,
machine itself.
right?
Yeah.
Not the attachments cost, right?
Yeah.
But how is the body of the main machine? Because it's 172.
Right.
172. So,
The body itself, because we keep good care of most of our vehicles when we can, so if you looked at it, the main body isn't bad. But the thing about the motor is the motor is getting tired. So what you might run into is we could fix this thing and next thing you know, the turbo goes in it,
okay,
and the turbo's $12,000. Or injectors start going in it, and then we have
I
to
got
do
you.
a.
You're just saying
Yeah,
the useful life's done anyway.
yeah, I'd say the mechanic looks at it. His time is taken away from working on the trucks. They call a guy down from Woburn, $200 an hour. It gets towed up there and back for 500, 600 bucks.
Yeah.
Not including the time and labor at the shop, or the time, labor, yeah, and materials.
Yeah.
And then it comes back and then the next month, it's the next thing.
But to answer Dave's question a little bit, better is just saying that, yeah, I mean, they're saying about 15 years out of these machines.
Yeah.
We got the good life out of it. at
Okay.
14.
Trade in 8K,
Unfortunately, it was 30.
right?
It was 30 until they found out about this repair.
Oh,
Upset,
I was
right,
gonna
right,
ask
right,
this
right,
because when they initially came down, when I wrote all this up,
right.
it was $30,000 trade and no problem. Then when they came down and gave us this estimate of $17,000 repair,
And that trade-in is it with the aging arm attachment, or is it that trade-in just the body, motor, all that?
just the machine.
Just the machine.
just the
itself?
machine.
None of the attachment,
No. They don't want the attachment for a trade-in.
okay?
Because they said what it would cost to fix the bent arm and to fix things isn't really feasible for them.
Okay,
So the main machine themselves, they'll probably take it, fix it up, put this clutch pump in, whatever they gotta do, maybe refresh the motor a little bit, and then they can resell it.
all right. Any reason not to trade it in and keep it?
Like for
Any
cannibalizing
of those
parts.
Parts in that thing be reused? If this thing.
Maybe a couple of things. I mean, I initially, last spring, when I thought we could hopefully get it, last capital plan, I would have loved to have kept this machine for a second one.
Right,
And just use it in the brush cutting season, because that's our busiest season. I could send one operator down this end of town, I could send an operator down the other, and it would take half the time to cut the town. But now I'm looking at it like, even if we did keep it, I'm still gonna have to come up with like $20,000 to fix that, to use it, even to make it a second machine.
yeah,
Can you repeat that, Chris?
Pretty much just where the conversation went anyway. Just talking
Okay.
about using it for cannibalizing parts or just as a backup. Would it be worth fixing it?
I
Or
would
even
love to have a backup or a second machine, but I think it's come to the point now where it's with those snapping studs, so we'd have to take it
You
off,
have to.
take all the tires off, we'd have to replace all the studs.
He likes the idea of that thing being on the road.
No,
I
he
think-
he
I
basically,
thought it was the pin that concerned him the most, but maybe
Well,
some of the other issues.
that, but it was the tires. When he came down that day and saw that the tires, he said,
How
if
many,
those dual tires ever snapped off, fell off as you drive.
when you say
roll,
the $17,000 repair, or
That's
twenty
just a
thousand,
clutch pump.
That's the clutch.
you would have to also do the pin, the tires, and probably a handful of other things.
Some other.
What would we be into at that point? 40 grand?
Maybe 30,
Yeah.
maybe 30. I'm not, Heath, I'm not sure. I didn't really look into everything.
I mean, from a capital
You know,
planning
but-
perspective, if we had the money in the future year, I'd rather buy one at year 7. That way we always had one that was on the newer side and one that was on the older side. And you can use them both at the same time, but you'd use the newer one the most and you keep
Right.
the older one until it.
Like if we put a plan together and say, hey, in 10 years or 8 years, we put in for another one.
Mm.
Now, this one we may be getting wouldn't have the life on it of 14 years. Now you could start using one as a spare, because I get what David's saying is you're not really getting much back on the trade-in.
No.
And the $30,000 for a trade, that would have been great. But once this repair popped up, they weren't gonna give us 30.
Yeah, at 8,000,
Get back.
at 8,000, they're just scrapping it for parts. They're just using it
And
for
that,
parts.
that very well could be. Yeah, I don't, yeah.
So we still at 235,000, or does that change it?
No, we're at.
No, that's 235.
Yeah,
Okay,
just,
so the article, I just want to make sure for article and things we.
yeah,
That's
I
what's
did.
on this thing. Other question, so, what water tank with pump kit and spray bar, what does that get used for? Like, how does that? get
That's used for the sweeping.
That's used, that's part of the sweeping
The
function.
problem is we never had that on there before. And when we go down the road and we're
You're
sweeping,
just dry sweeping.
we're dry sweeping, it makes a mess out of the machine, sucking it in the intake, plus residents don't like it, and I don't like doing that. I don't like going by somebody's house with their windows open and making a big dust cloud.
Yeah.
So I figured for that minimal amount, that water spray gets put on there, and it keeps the dust down. It helps the machine not take in so much dust and dirt in the intake
Yep.
as well. So, and then the dual tires you have to have. So in the winter time, when you use a snow blower, we use single tires. But when it comes to the weight of that sidearm machine for stability and mowing the landfill cap, you have to put the dual tires on.
Yeah.
So that's why the dual tires are in there.
We wanna get into money, or is that out of
Sure.
the purview of this committee?
No, that's, it's in our article right there.
Beautiful.
I have a question about the parts. Let's say, for sake of argument, we, could get 2 at the same time. Crazy scenario, I know. But beyond the machine itself, what parts would we absolutely need to buy for a second one if we had the money to buy 2 at the same time?
Really, probably only another sidearm mower.
So would we not have to buy the dual tires as well for if we had to?
Well, you would. You're right. Yep, you would.
Okay.
You would, the water sprayer, I wouldn't, one machine can sweep. So I think the water sprayer, no, you wouldn't need a second one of that. And then the snow blower, we could get away with one unless all of a sudden the town says, okay, now you start to do developments. You're gonna start to do 15 more miles of sidewalk. Then it would require a second machine with a second snow blower. But right now with the 2 machines, it would basically be the flail arm and the dual tires.
All right, and then pivoting from that, in a more realistic scenario where we buy a new one when this one's halfway through its lifespan, what does the lifespan for the other parts, such as the snowblower, the boom arm, and all that, are those longer lifespan than the machine itself? Shorter, comparable?
They're comparable with the machine. So the old snow blower we had was. So if that was 14, but they carried it on from 2 years before. So the snow blower was about 15 or 16 years. The street broom, we use it. We sweep in April, was usually done by May, so we use it a month. The broom would last, there's really not much to the broom. Just putting new wafers on it, which is minimal. So that would last. Basically, the biggest expense was the flail cutter, the boom flail.
Yeah, that's not gonna
But
make it.
But that's not gonna make it, but to answer your question, if you got a second one. The boom flail probably last about the same as the machine. The sweeper, the snow blower will last a lot longer.
Great, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, let's talk about how we're paying for it. We're actually gonna pay for it.
Actually gonna pay for it. Gonna have a bake sale out front.
You can have a.
I'm looking at this sheet.
$10,000 brownie.
We're doing 7,500 from closed articles.
Mhm.
Then, oh, no, more, excuse me, closed special articles. But then from closed articles, so the Veterans Memorial, there was an extra 50K. After
Yeah.
everything was done.
Yeah, they actually have 70,000 and and they've agreed to turn back 50. So,
Okay,
They like to hold on to 20. for
yeah, for like
maintenance.
maintenance and,
Okay.
upkeep and stuff like that, which is, completely understandable.
and then how about the 24K for the Ford 550? What was that from?
That was just the balance from when we did the purchase sometimes, because it's an estimate,
Yeah.
so.
So you have a contingency in the estimate because,
Yeah, no, I got you.
yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, I think it was like 100, I think they asked for like 180 in case there's always
All right.
extra.
Yeah,
cost.
And then at a current operating, we're gonna take 108.
Mhm.
What that, so Kathleen.
How you gonna make that?
So that is
Alright.
when we were working on, the DPW director proposal, there was additional salary put into the SDP budget to cover that expense. But now that hasn't been resolved, that those funds are still there.
Okay.
So basically, I'm getting paid.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right, but what I'm saying is, so with that.
you have to repeat it tomorrow
Yeah,
night for
yeah.
them, but I've been around long enough that
Yeah,
Right,
I
so that money's there.
yeah.
gotcha.
With nothing being filled yet.
And then 44 out of snow and ice, and
Mhm.
we're just crossing our fingers, or then going into debt if it's a really bad year.
I mean,
Oh,
it was-
must have changed.
yeah, a little over 40.
Okay,
But yeah, because there was quite a bit of salt that was left over from last year too, so,
Okay,
the other shed's full right now, so we're hoping.
yeah.
all right. So that's how you prefer to do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, we're not using, capital stabilization, because at the time when this came up, we didn't have the first payment for the meals tax, which goes into capital stabilization. So we didn't use that as a funding, and free cash isn't certified right now, so. And this kind of, we're using what we have, so we're not, spending free cash like the minute we get it, so.
Yeah, all right. And then other funding methods, if we didn't just spend what we got. So if we financed it, right,
Mhm.
we were looking at a 5-year at 5.25%, let's say.
Mm.
So that's option number 2.
Yeah.
And then option number 3 is to take it from, what's the name of the fund?
the town reserve or town.
The Town Reserve Fund, which we
Says-
never touch.
Yeah.
Well, there's only $35,000.
No,
Town reserve fund, I thought it was.
Oh, stabilization?
Yeah, the big guy.
Cause you know how they use the interchange stabilization and reserve?
Well,
Our savings.
Well, stabilization
Our-
would have
our
to
3
be
million.
voted at town meeting and you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to vote it out. But that's usually like not for, like capital like that.
Hold on.
If
We
it
made
was,
a transfer in the year, and I think it's probably the same article every year, but I don't think we did it on last year, 2021. The article transfers a sum of money free cash, I believe this was 100,000, into the stabilization fund. The stabilization fund is a town savings account, is a mechanism for setting aside money that may be used for unforeseen needs or for capital projects.
She doesn't want to do that.
Nobody wants to do it.
But
I'm just
But
saying.
anyways,
no, I mean, there's
Emergency.
I'm just.
there's no restriction.
I'm just going through.
It's better for our credit rating and for borrowing to have to not take from stabilization.
Okay. Good point. On the stabilization, do we know what's our rate of return? Any idea?
I mean, on average, we're doing well because the rates are up, but we don't, it's not like a money market fund, we're not like an S&P, it's just,
Is it higher than 5.25?
mm-mm,
Okay,
we're like in the high 4s. Which is good,
still not bad.
considering it used to be forever, it was like 1%. So, I mean,
Got it.
but the investment income is what we use for, local receipts, so we,
My
Yeah,
concern with
true.
leasing is that we're gonna continue to transfer free cash to capital stabilization. Because the meals tax doesn't cover all the leases that we have. We had this one, I don't know if this one will be the one that does it, we're basically 50-50. Items we're buying just with cash and payments we're making on items we've acquired in prior years. I don't like shifting away to stuff we can do right now because of commitments we made in the years before. It's totally appropriate for a fire engine or emergency when we didn't foresee an ambulance needing to be replaced or something, but
Yeah, okay. Only other thoughts or questions that I had, so. We've done a good job of finding money,
Yeah,
okay? We're still early in the year. Police has already been to FinCom once. So the ways to find money are gonna become harder and harder and harder.
exactly.
So. Is there, I guess, still a little money out there that could be found, so I'm not gonna have a heart attack at the end of the year, or is this good? This is really the found money for the year and we're gonna be in trouble after this.
I don't think that we could rely on the operating budget for any other capital purchases.
Good answer. I like that answer. That answers my question.
okay, so we'll just have to do what we can do in the spring. Which this would have been on the spring one anyway, so it was on the last spring request.
The
And
only
you
thing-
said, how long, what's the delivery time on this? If you order it immediately following
I've been talking to him,
4 to 6 weeks, you
not even.
And if we
about
get,
2
Where
weeks.
the hell is it coming from with the tariff?
Well, the boom flail and it's coming from Canada.
That's
The
the
Canadian
answer.
manufacturer, so,
Answer.
and that's why I threw in the 2026 pricing, because as of January 1st. The machine and everything else is going up 10%. And by January, you don't know what the tariffs are gonna be. They could go away, they could be 40, they could be 60. So that's
Do we,
kind of why you were looking at 2000, anything after
Yeah.
January 1st,
Yeah.
you're looking at a minimum of 248 for this machine.
One last question that I forgot. And this is just my ignorance on the topic. So obviously we're purchasing the same vehicle because the attachments match,
Mhm.
yada, yada, yada. Is there another manufacturer or another manufacturer of this type of vehicle, or
There is.
are they holding down the whole segment like
Oh,
Zamboni?
they're
Zamboni
basically-
does it.
They're basically
Like you
holding
guys.
down about 80% of it. There is another machine or two out there. But in doing my research, talking to town of Pembroke, they tried another type of machine.
Yeah,
They didn't like them. They got rid of them within 2 or 3 years and went back with the trackless.
okay.
It just.
There'd
this
be no
kind of machine-
savings by going to another machine, even though we couldn't use the attachments or anything.
No, because the problem with that is you'd have to now start over with all new attachments.
Yeah,
So you're gonna have to buy the new machine, you're gonna have to buy the snow blower, you're gonna have to buy the field mower, you're gonna have to buy the sweeper. Where this machine here, they've had one, even before this, they had an MT4 or MT5. So the town of Kingston's had trackless for whatever, 30, close to 30 something years different.
gotcha.
And I just thought at this point, if we can. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the machines. They run great. It's just this one's getting older.
Yeah.
But I thought, why start over with adding another $70,000 in attachments? When we already have some that are still usable and compatible with this machine.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna make up the difference, so, yeah, I got it.
Chris, you trying to say something?
Chris, you good?
nothing important. Just gonna make a joke about Canada.
We should leave it to them to make snow removal machines?
Oh, I was just gonna say that if we wait long enough, maybe the tariffs won't be an issue because the border could move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this in stock? I mean, is it gonna get 3 or 4 weeks to have it
Yeah.
here, or is it gonna come from Canada? Are they gonna?
Oh, no, he told me, our sales rep, I talked to him again as of Friday. He said if it all goes well at town meeting on the 28th, I call him on the 29th, say it's good to go. We'll have the machine within 10 to 14 days.
And it's actually coming from Canada, so.
Well, the machine, not the machine itself.
machines on the lot here.
The machine's on the lot here. He's got about 7 or 8 of them. It's the attachment, it's the boom flail
So he's hitting us with the tariff.
and
for
the
replacement.
tires.
He's hitting us with the tariff because it's gonna want the replacement machine that is gonna hit the new wires with a tariff again, so it's a double dip. And a tariff for them,
No, the tariff is
Probably
just on the tires and the boom flail, which is special order.
Yeah, there is no tariff as of right now, he told me, on the machines. There is none. And then I said to him, "Well, why the boom flare, why the tires? And not the water sprayer? Or not that he was telling me the other day, there isn't one on the big snow blower. And
They're all coming from
he's
different
just a
places.
sale, he goes, I don't have an answer. He goes, this is just what gets sent to us.
You have a factory that makes a machine that specializes in that, that's in maybe the US or something, and you have factory up in Ontario that maybe does the boom flail and the mower head and all that, but that'll give you enough time to catch up on the brush cutting, and the field mowing before.
I won't catch up, but I can get some done. It's, we have a fall, early winter.
Mhm.
You know, if we get this in the end of October, I could possibly still cut for a month. I won't catch up because as of right now, we're almost 5 weeks behind. Because that's how long that
And
machine.
if we order it, and if we wait till Springtown meeting, you'll probably get one as early, if you're lucky, July, right?
Maybe June or July. So then it puts me another 3 months behind. And then I'd have to sub out mowing the landfill cap. We have to mow the landfill cap.
Yeah, so you'd
To
still,
have it inspected. If we don't have it inspected, then we get fined by the DEP.
you'd still have considerable costs, yeah.
Right.
Not there.
And then I usually sweep April, May, so I fall behind on the sweeping as well.
Yeah.
And again, if I start subcontracting this all out. Now it's just another cost out of the operating budget that we didn't figure on.
Yeah.
Installing the machine outright, us selling it, we wouldn't make any more than $8,000.
I don't think so. I mean, we've just had, recently we had what, 3 dump trucks surplus? And we auctioned them off and we were getting $6,000 for one, 6,000 for another, and we lucked out and got 14 grand for
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
Right.
We could put it out in our government auction like we do, and we could get 15 grand for it, or we could put it out and only get 1,500 for it. And then if we only get 15, we're gonna say, geez, I wish we put the 8. Right?
yeah.
So I couldn't answer that.
Which ones are getting the highest money at the auction, just out of curiosity? Is it the Sterlings because there's no more parts?
No, it wasn't.
Or is it not the Sterlings because nobody wants them even for the parts
It was the
anymore?
F-550s, the
Yeah.
smaller dump trucks. That's what got the most money.
Those-
The bigger dump trucks, no, because it's so hard to find parts for those old Sterlings.
Yeah,
So
but I wasn't sure if people are buying them to get the parts.
it could be. That's probably why we're only getting $5,000 for a bigger
Yeah.
dump truck.
All right, anybody have any more questions? All right, I'll make a motion then. We can move this along. Move favorable action in the amount of $235,000 for the acquisition of a replacement trackless machine with attachments for streets, trees, and parks department, for these streets, trees, and parks. Do I have a
Second,
second? Okay. All those in favor?
Chris, I.
Reluctantly, because we passed some found money.
Dave, I.
All right, he's aye. Very good. I don't wanna have to buy a second one either, but it almost seems like at some point it could be heavy or it makes sense.
Well, and again, if you plan it, it's not gonna be anytime soon. Not anytime soon.
No.
But if it's something you talk about in 7 or 8 years in the capital plan, possibly.
That's why I said not
If
anytime
not,
soon, yeah.
it wouldn't be anytime soon. But if the town keeps growing and we got more miles of road to cut and more sidewalks to do, we might have to.
And I don't think there's been any other articles with capital in them, so we can skip that. You didn't find anything else with capital, right? Anything to slip through? Okay. All right, future meetings, special town meeting, Tuesday, August 28th, 2025 at 7 PM, Kingston Intermediate School. Be there.
October.
October.
Okay, yes. Ah,
Still thinking about.
I started with that pause. And then reverted. Yeah, yeah. Just it. All right, member comments, questions, or concerns? Negative. All right, who's got a motion?
I vote that we adjourn at 6:45.
All right, so moved. All those in favor, Heath, aye.
Chris, I.
Wayne, aye.
Dave, I.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Good night.